Hello and welcome back to the Sports Sermon. I'm Dylan Staggy.
I'm Jason Gandhi.
I'm Dan Majors.
I'm John Majors.
I'm Zach Munson.
And we are back today for more college football previews. As you can tell by the title, today we are talking about the Pac-12 South. So we're going to go through every team, talk about their offense and defense, give a ceiling and a floor record prediction for this year, and say their MVP. So, let's start off with the Arizona Wildcats. What they did last year, let's go to Dan for that. What happened to the Wildcats last year?
They went 3-9 overall, 1-8 in the conference, finished last in the South Division. They returned 14 total starters, 7 on offense, 7 on defense. On offense, they lose Nate Phillips, Trey Griffey, and Freddie Tagaloa. On defense, they lose Paul McGloyer, Michael Barton, and John Kinney. So, Jason, what do you think about the Cats this year?
Well, you kind of know what you're getting in Arizona every year. The defense is going to be optional for long stretches. The offense is going to make up for problems on the other side of the ball in shootout after shootout. But that didn't happen this last year. Brandon Dawkins and Khalil Tate will battle it out for the starting quarterback job. The Wildcats have one of the least efficient passing games in the country, with the quarterbacks hitting 51% of their passes with just 13 touchdowns and 12 picks after 2 straight OK seasons. Now, it got even worse where Arizona went 4 straight games and 5 within 6 games in Pac-12 play where it failed to hit the 50% passing mark. So the quarterback play is horrid. Defensively, 6 of the 8 top tacklers are back, led by a seemingly much improved secondary, and at least that's where the young talent is, to potentially change things around. The defense has to be more physical overall, and more plays behind the line would be nice, but any production would be a massive improvement. I have them at 4-8, and that's with an easy schedule. I have them at 4-8. I think they beat Arizona State I think they lose to Arizona State to be last in their conference, but them and Arizona State tie at 4-8. I think their ceiling is 7-5 and their floor is 3-9. And the MVP is the running back duo of J.J. Taylor and Nick Wilson, who have to put up massive numbers in order for Arizona to be competitive.
Yeah, I'm not loving Arizona this year. Still a quarterback battle with Brandon Dawkins and Khalil Tate. Like Jason talked about, the running backs will be fantastic with J.J. Taylor and Nick Wilson, who had 1,375 yards in 2014, but since has been limited by injuries. The secondary on the defensive side is finally going to be improved, but the defensive line is not going to be great, and they might start 3 freshmen at linebacker. So not looking too great on the defensive side for Arizona. I also have them at 4-8. I think if everything goes right, 6-6 record would be reasonable, but they could even drop to 3-9 again. I'm not loving the Wildcats this year.
Yeah, I'm not loving the Wildcats either. I've been going 5-7, 2-7 in the division. I've been last in the division. I think the floor is 3-9, ceilings 7-5. Obviously, as we mentioned, their defense is terrible. Offense is great. I have J.J. Taylor as my MVP. Last year they were riddled with injuries, and so hopefully that doesn't happen again this year. But I don't really like them a lot this year.
I am not a fan of Arizona. Brandon Dawkins needs to stay consistent if they have any hope of making a bowl game. They have to stay away from the injury bug. They have a very young defense, but they have a lot of potential and guys coming back. I have them going 2-10 and 0-9
Whoa.
in conference and finishing 6th in their division. Only wins coming to Northern Arizona and at Utah.
Wow.
Zach, you mentioned they have a good offense. I really don't see that. Ranked 94th in points per game, lose 3 other top 4 receivers. Offense doesn't look good. Defense, lose 3 other top 6 tacklers, ranked 119th in points allowed. So I have them at 2-10, 0-9 in the conference, and finishing last in the whole Pac-12.
Also, they are 112th in turnover margin.
Yeah, and the one thing they have going for them, the running game last year, they were first in the Pac-12, but Rich Rodriguez wants more balance, which I think will hurt them this year on the offensive side because they cannot throw the ball.
Let's move on to Arizona State now. Went 5-7, 2-7 in the conference, and finished 4th in the South Division. They returned 13 total starters, 7 on offense, 6 on defense. On offense, they lose Tim White, Evan Goodman, and Stephon McCray. On defense, they lose Armand Perry, Loa Moakiola, sorry about that, and DeChaven Hayes. So, Jason, what do you think about Arizona State this year?
They have potential, but also potential to be terrible. Blake Barnett, transfer from Alabama, and Manny Wilkins will battle it out at QB. Kalen Balaj and Demario Richard are back to carry the load at running back, and the line the line being formidable would be helpful. Arizona State allowed 38 or more sacks in each of the last 5 seasons. Pass protection hasn't been a premium under head coach Todd Graham. Defensively, with the worst pass defense in college football, Arizona State was in a shootout after shootout, allowing 357 yards per game and 33 scores. That's even factoring in the Arizona game where the Wildcats threw the ball just 8 times. The top 2 tacklers, DJ Calhoun and Marcus Ball respectively, are back, but can there be more of a pass rush with even more big plays behind the line? JoJo Wicker and Deshaun Smallwood are solid veterans up front who should be fine against the run, while Calhoun and Christian are good-looking linebackers who will make plenty of big plays. My record prediction for them is also 4-8. I don't believe in Barnett or Wilkins being able to hold down the fort, so I like them at 4-8, ceiling 7-5, floor 3-9, and the MVP DJ Calhoun with a team-leading 77 tackles with 4.5 sacks and 11.5 tackles for loss.
All right. Like we talked about, the quarterback position is obviously the main concern. Manny Wilkins or Blake Barnett, will they be able to contribute? A tandem of capable senior running backs with Demario Richard and Kalen Balaj, sophomore wide receiver who showed a lot of promise last year in Keel Harry, the most receptions by a freshman. So the offense has a few weapons. If they could figure it all out, they'd be pretty solid, but we'll have to see if that happens. Last year, like Jason mentioned, last nationally in passing yards allowed. A nice linebacker trio of Christian Sam, DJ Calhoun, and Coron Crump, though. But I'm still not a huge fan of the Wildcats, the Sun Devils this year. I think they finish 5-7 and miss out on a bowl game.
Yeah, I have Arizona State going 5-7, ceiling 7-5, floors 3-9. I think this is a do-or-die season for Todd Graham, their head coach. He has explosive offensive playmakers. Pretty good situation with Barnett and Manny Wilkins. I think that's fine for them at quarterback. Terrible defense. Needs a whole lot of help in secondary. And I have Arizona State finishing 5th in their division. And I think going bowling for them would be great.
I like this Arizona State team. I like Blake Barnett. Their new offensive coordinator, they're going to be more of a pro-style offense. Blake Barnett will be the starter. Favors his style of play. The run game will be a lot better. The linebacker core is established and will be good. They need to create a pass rush and also do better in defending the pass. I have them going 8-4 and 5-4 in conference, finishing 3rd. Their key loss is their kicker, Zane Gonzalez, the best kicker in the nation from last year. But yeah, 8-4. I think Blake Barnett's going to have a great year.
You are big on these transfer quarterbacks.
We'll get to the Big 12 and it'll get better.
No, but you
SEC
liked from Pitt, you liked Max Brown, and now you like
Blake Barnett, he was in the wrong system with Alabama.
But I don't think the system matters that much when you're supposed to be
Yes,
that
it
good.
does.
When you're supposed to be that good, it
Did
does.
you beat Oregon?
Yeah, I haven't beaten Oregon. I have them beating New
Beating
Mexico
Oregon.
State, San Diego State,
Oh, my.
winning against Texas
Wait,
Tech.
beating who was the first game?
New Mexico State.
Oh,
I have them beating
heard
Oregon,
Michigan
at
State.
Utah, Colorado, at Oregon State, and Arizona.
you haven't
They
beaten
lose-
Colorado? I have Colorado pooping on them.
No.
Okay,
Philip
that's
Lindsay?
awesome. I have them losing at
Philip
UCLA.
Lindsay.
We'll get to Colorado. All right.
We'll get to Colorado, at UCLA, at USC, Washington, and at Stanford. Those are all their losses. Blake Barnett is
All right. I'm not a huge fan of Arizona State either. Ranked 77th in yards per game last year, 114th in rushing yards per game. Demario Richard was their leading rusher and only rushed for 593 yards. That's not very good. Of course, on defense, ranked 124th in points allowed and 126th in yards allowed. So I have them at 4-8, 2-7 in the conference, and finishing 5th in the South Division with wins over Colorado and Arizona. So let's move on to Colorado. Last year had a great year, going 10-4, 8-1 in the conference, and won the South Division. They only returned 12 total starters, 9 on offense, 3 on defense. They lose their best offensive player in Seppo Lufau. On defense, They lose 9 guys: Kenneth Olagodu, Chidobe Awuzie, Tedrick Thompson, and Jimmy Gilbert. So, Jason, what do you think about Colorado?
You guys
this
already
year?
know the Buffalo's going to be good this year. No one's going to believe
Oh
me,
my.
but watch out. Philip Lindsay returns as the all-around back the offense can work around when needed with a few good-looking options behind it. Trying to pave away is a line that didn't exactly blast away for the ground attack, but comes back experienced and stronger with 4 starters back around star left tackle Jeremy Irwin. As Steven Montez comes through the consistent season, thrown to the Wolves for a stretch, the young quarterback put up big numbers when the Sefo Lufa went down with the top 9 pass catchers back. The Buffaloes will bomb away. Defensively, the secondary is the biggest issue after losing 3 all-star caliber playmakers to the nation's 5th most efficient pass defense. Afalabi Alaguda returns, though, at one safety spot, and there's hope for replacements to fill in fast, starting with special team star Ryan Mueller at safety and Isaiah Oliver, a good one, at one of the corner gigs. With Colorado State ready to bomb away in the opener and Washington's Jake Browning and Josh Rosen to deal with before the end of September, the defensive backs have to rock. So I get that the defensive backs and the defense is very young. But I'm a fan of Colorado this year. I think they go 9-3. I think they tie for second in the conference with UCLA at 9-3. I think that they're going to be phenomenal offensively, and defense never really matters in the Pac-12 because they all just have shootout after shootout. I like Colorado's offense. I think the quarterback play is going to be fine. And if you look at their schedule, it's not that tough. I think they beat Colorado State, beat Texas State, and the only the only games they lose to is USC, Washington, and then I think they lose one to UCLA possibly, or Utah. I don't know. There's not anyone super tough on that schedule after 2 losses.
Good. They're just as good as a Washington State. Or
No.
Yeah.
They're better than
worse.
Washington.
Worse than Washington State.
No.
Definitely.
I'd have Washington State beat.
No,
Yeah.
Luke
Yes.
Falk is not that. He's not
And
going
Utah
to
in the
be.
last game?
Utah's not good.
Luke
Utah's,
Falk will just kill their defense.
Philip Lindsay will run all over them.
Colorado's defense is terrible.
It's
this
at
year.
Washington State, too.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you. We'll see. What week is that? That's late in the season, right?
It's
Later?
October
Middle?
2nd on Utah. Utah's a great defense, and they've been good for a
Yeah,
while.
Utah.
They'll go
Yeah.
6-6 at best. But back
Utah?
Yes.
Oh my.
6-6.
You are full of it.
Joe Williams is gone. That's their entire team last
Okay,
year.
Their team has been good ever since Urban Meyer's coached there.
That doesn't matter. What was their team last year? One guy, Joe Williams. That's it.
That's fantastic. Their defense will carry them.
No, not to more than 6-6 in a
Colorado
Pac-12.
doesn't have anybody.
You're telling me Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Jake Browning, Luke Falk not going to throw all over that defense? They're not going to be able to touch those 4.
Okay,
That's
so-
easy 4
But you
losses.
think
So,
At best, they're
So
at best 8-4.
Colorado will then.
so you think? So what do you like about Colorado? Just
Their
Philip
offense.
Lindsay? Just Philip Lindsay.
And
That's
their
the
offense
quarterback-
wasn't even good
They're-
last year. They relied on their defense, and
Yeah,
they
that's-
lost
I
8
know, but I didn't like
starters.
Sefo Lafu, wherever you
you
say his
didn't
name.
like him.
No, I didn't think he was the right guy for Colorado. But now you've got this guy that stepped in and balled
Right
out
guy
when
for Colorado, let him
Lafu
finish
was
the
gone.
season.
Now you've got a guy that's better than him, in my opinion.
Oh,
And you got your top 9 pass catchers back. The offense is going to be rolling. Great offensive
not
line.
rolling.
Yes!
I'd say just as good as last year, probably, and defense will struggle.
I've
They
been
will
9-3.
roll to a 6-6 record.
6
Yes,
and
they
6?
will.
I put
Yeah,
money
I
on the fact they're
also-
better than 500. That's
Oh
easy
my.
over 500. Who the heck are they going to lose to besides Washington, USC?
UCLA, Washington
There's the
State,
3-0.
Arizona
No!
State, USC,
Arizona State.
and
Utah.
Arizona State. Arizona State.
Blake Barnett will have a hate.
You're dumb. Utah is terrible. They're not
Utah's-
good.
Utah's
What are you
not
talking
terrible.
about?
They're not good.
They're better than Colorado.
No, they're not.
Plus, it's at
Here's a
Utah.
sneak peek. I got Utah going 10-2. That's what.
You're
Oh,
dumb.
whoa.
You're
What?
so dumb.
Alrighty.
No, but Colorado, their defense is going to be terrible this year. The offense will be solid. I think this offense will be better than last year. Not by a lot, but it wasn't their offense that carried them to an amazing season last year. It was their defense, which they lost 8 starters. So I have a 6-6 record for Colorado this year.
I have Colorado going 7-5 or 6-6. I'll go with 7-5. Philip Lindsay, one of the best running backs in all of college football. He'll need to have a big year. And I got them going 4th in the division behind Utah. Or I'll go with 3rd ahead of Utah. And
Whoa.
I
Yes.
think their MVP is Philip Lindsay.
Yeah.
We've already had a big discussion about them, so not much to say.
Yeah, well, Colorado will go 6-6, maybe even worse. We'll see. They are going to miss Stefan Lufau. Steven Montez went 2-1 as a starter in his career, but they are definitely going to miss him. Philip Lindsay will be the MVP. They have way too many guys missing on defense. And yeah, I have them finishing 5th in the South Division.
Okay, like I said, defense will struggle big time this year, losing 9 guys. Also lost their defensive coordinator to Oregon, and that's why I thought you liked Oregon so much with Jim Leavitt going to Oregon as their defensive coordinator. So, not a fan of their defense, not a fan of their offense. Philip Lindsay, that's really all they have, I think.
That's not true though. Their defense is going to be fine. They've got guys at all places. It's not they didn't lose guys and now they have like terrible recruits. If they lost guys, now they got guys that are ready to step up. Like they're ready to replenish and start over. And offensively, Philip Lindsay's one of the best backs in college. Like that's already enough to go better than 6-6. A solid defense and a good and the best one of the
Not
best
a
running
solid
back.
defense.
Yes, their defense is
No,
not
it's
that bad. I don't know why you're hating on the Colorado
Last year was
defense.
a
Okay, but they're-
fluke. by the way.
No,
They will be an average team at best.
When was the last time Colorado won 10 games before last
Yes.
it doesn't matter.
year? It
They
doesn't
went
matter.
No,
in
there's teams that
2012, 4-8
pop up and are good all the
2013,
time.
2-10 in 2014, and 4-9 in 15.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was their first
This
winning record.
this
in a long
recruiting
time.
class is working its way through.
This recruiting class, name one recruit they have.
Out of this class, Philip Lindsay, they just recruited him like 3 years ago. That's my point. These last 3-4 recruiting classes have been solid with the new coach getting guys in. That's all I'm saying.
Name another recruit.
Yeah, it's like
Look at their whole defense. They didn't just like sign them off of free agency. Like they obviously
Oh my
recruited all of these
God.
guys to Colorado. Their recruiting class has gotten better and better as they've been going.
All right. I do not see it. I have a 6-6, ceiling of 7-5,
No.
Yeah.
floor of 3-9.
No,
So
there's
6
no way
and
they're
6,
there's no way
3
they're
and 6 in the
600,
conference.
500.
Finished 4th in the South Division with wins over Arizona, Oregon State, and Cal.
The
So-
only argument you have is that they have a decently easy Pac-12 schedule.
That's a pretty big argument. They got a good defense, a great running
Not
back,
a
and
good
an easy
defense.
schedule.
You're down on Arizona State. They have California. They have Washington State.
That's-
They could be struggling.
There's 4, and don't they play Arizona too?
They have Oregon State and they have Arizona.
That's 5 wins right there. You're not gonna show any more.
No.
No.
Look at their non-conference schedule.
Colorado State,
It's
Texas
a
State,
dub,
Northern
dub,
Colorado.
dub.
Those are all wins.
3-0. Then
Okay.
you've got Arizona 4-0, Washington, or not 0, but like 4 wins at Arizona, 5 wins at Oregon State, 6 wins at Washington State,
And they don't win.
They
Seven-
do not
They
beat
don't
Washington
beat California and Arizona State.
State. Don't beat Washington
Yes, they
State.
do. Then if they don't, they beat Arizona State. I'll give you split those two: Washington State and Arizona State,
I have Arizona
and
State
California.
winning.
That's 8 wins. Their schedule is terrible.
Okay, but they're not a good team, though.
It doesn't matter if you have a bad schedule and a good enough team, you will win games.
6 and
But
6.
not 9. Not 9.
But you can't when you have that easy of a schedule.
They can't beat Utah. They
I
can't beat
think they
Washington
will.
State.
I think Utah's gonna be out of contention where they're not going to care anymore. They're not good. They run
Colorado will be out of
the ball. No, they won't. If they're 8-3 going into that game, that's out of
Okay,
contention.
but they're not
They're not
good.
gonna be.
Well, that's where we differ. I have them being 8-3 going into the game, so I think
Zach, what do you have?
5 and
Colorado?
7.
You have,
you have a losing record.
No, 6-6
Oh.
6 and
or
6.
7-5. I said
7-5.
Or 7-5.
6-6 or
7-5.
7-5.
I don't see it being any worse than 6-6. Any worse. 6-6 is the floor. Easy.
I have them at the
Do we have UCLA
Okay,
next?
what's the
Time
floor?
out. Do we have UCLA next? That's
Yes,
my
we
next.
do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Here we go.
man.
All right, this is my next big team this year, so just be ready, guys. All
All
right,
right.
start us
So
off.
UCLA, move on to them. 4-8 last year, 2-7 in the conference. Finished 5th in the South Division. They returned 15 total starters, 9 on offense, 6 on defense. On offense, they lose Nate Easy and Connor McDermott. On defense, they lose Jayon Brown, Takaris McKinley, and Randall Goforth. So, Jason, what do you think about UCLA?
All right, I love UCLA. I'm buying into their star player. No, this isn't basketball, Alfonso Ball. I'm buying into Josh Rosen. Having a healthy Josh Rosen should make things a heck of a lot easier for the Bruins. The passing attack worked phenomenal with him, and if he's 100%, the expectations become a whole lot different with several key targets back to make the offense rumble. If the offensive line can hold up and pave the way for rushing attack, UCLA is definitely a sleeper. No one's buying into him. I love what they can do. I think Rosen's going to be healthy. I'm betting on his health. Defensively, the line should be excellent if the young guys rise up and rock in the rotation right away. It's not a huge group, but it'll be active around Matt Dickerson on the inside and a good-looking group of potential pass rushers on the ends. The secondary should be among the best in the Pac-12, around the elite safety tandem of Jaleel Wadood and Darius Pickett. Now just the corner depth has to be there around Nate Metters at one spot. He has all-star potential. Like, I don't know why everyone's low on UCLA. I have them at 9-3, finishing second in the division, right above Colorado. USC being in first, obviously. And I'm optimistic about Rosen. I think he's going to be a stud. He'll ball out. And I think he knocks off USC in the last game of the year to take USC out of the college football playoff race. My MVP is obviously Josh Rosen. 307 yards against BYU, 350 against Arizona, 400 against Arizona State. Expect that on a regular basis. He's going to throw all over the place in the Pac-12 with not very good defenses.
Yeah, I think the number one concern is keeping Josh Rosen healthy, which will be tough with a not-so-great offensive line for UCLA. On the defensive side, replacing NFL talent like Takaris McKinley, Jayon Brown, and Fabian Moreau will not be easy for the Bruins this year. Kenny Young developed into a quality starter last year and should have a nice season for the Bruins. So I see them finishing anywhere from 9-3 to, if Rosen gets hurt, maybe 6-6. But I like them at 8-4 this year.
I like UCLA a lot this year. I have them going 8-4. I love Josh Rosen. I think he'll be a great pro prospect. I'm just like Jason said. I'm betting on his health. I'm assuming he'll be healthy. I think a big question mark will be if Rick Wade can replace Chad McKinley. If he can, that'll help him out tremendously. I think Jim Mora will be pressured to have a good season this year, or he could be in trouble. And I love Josh Rosen and need a quarterback to be great, and they got that. So I'm going with 8-4, second in their division.
I'm not a huge fan of UCLA. Yes, Josh Rosen is a first-round talent, but I'm not a fan of them. They were 127th best rushing attack last year. Soso Jamambo will step in to that role and be their running back. They have a struggling defense. They have to replace a lot of NFL talent. They do have an offensive coordinator that is new, but I have them going 6-6 and 4-5 in conference and finishing fourth in the South.
So let me get this straight. You're high on Utah and Arizona State,
Yes.
and low on UCLA and Colorado.
UCLA will lose to Texas A&M, a tough game at Memphis, but they will win. Stanford is a loss. Oregon a loss. Washington loss. Utah loss. USC loss.
Utah lost. That's a joke.
All right.
It is at Utah, and Utah will be a solid squad.
Utah's a very
I still
tough
think
place to
UCLA
play.
wins, but
UCLA is going to be 9-3.
I mean it's going to be a close one.
Okay.
They're not going to. You have them. What'd you say? You have them 6-6.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. If you're talking bad about Utah, UCLA can't run the ball. Again, 127th best
It's a-
rushing attack last
yes.
year. How many teams are there in the FBS? 128.
Yes.
Utah is one of the best defenses in the country, especially at stopping the run. So
That's
you're
fine.
going to rely on
That's-
Josh Rosen.
and no, this is all I'm saying. That game's going to be interesting. It's going to be UCLA, who's such a big passing team, and Utah is such a big running team. And it's going to be definitely a contrast of styles, but I just believe Rosen is better than any running back you've got in Utah.
I might have had that same thing, but it's at Utah. Utah's a very tough place to play.
I don't think it's going to matter that much. Rosen's now a junior. He's going to be fine. He's done this for 2
How
years
much
now.
did he play last year?
I know. I'm just saying. He's now a junior. He's got experience. He knows how to play. He's going to ball out this year. I just think 6-6 is low. I just want to make sure that we have it very straight. That you have Utah and Arizona State up, and Colorado and UCLA down.
Colorado definitely makes sense.
Colorado will definitely be at the end of the conference, and UCLA has potential to be up there, but they will not be.
All right.
And I don't think Josh Rosen will play the entire season.
How many games?
I don't know, but he also wants to save his first-round draft grade, so he might sit out.
No. You think so?
If he has a lingering injury, maybe.
I think
We've
the only
seen
way
that
that
now.
only
We've
way
seen
that happens
people
is if they
sitting out
lose.
ball
The only way I see that happening is if we get to the October 21st, October 28th Oregon-Washington schedule, and they've only won 3 or 4 games. I could see if they're already out of it. They're like,
That's what I'm relying on.
okay, I can see that.
Texas
Then.
A&M's a loss to start.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
How?
Definitely, and they could lose to.
Who's their
Memphis.
quarterback? Yeah.
Who? Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Kellen Mond. He's a freshman.
Not anywhere close to being as good as Josh Rosen.
Okay, so
They lost Myles Garrett.
Texas A&M will stop them.
No, they. Well, no.
Did you watch them play last year?
Yes, but was Josh Rosen going to be 1 year better? No. Do they still have Myles Garrett? No. I'm taking UCLA.
All right.
We'll see.
I like UCLA. All right, 20th in passing yards per game last year. 53rd in points allowed. I think Jalen Brown and Carson McKinley will be crazy missed. Jaleel Wadud could have a great year as he was 3rd in tackles last year for the Bruins. One thing, obviously, rushing attack, 125th in rushing yards per game, only 84 yards per rushing yards per game. That's crazy. Soso Jamabo will have to step up. He was their leading rusher with only 321 yards. That is crazy. So one thing we didn't mention, you guys talked about their schedule, but their schedule is very tough. I say ceiling of 9-3, but that's very tough. Floor of 5-7. I have them at 8-4, 6-3 in the conference, finishing 2nd in the South Division.
Very tough.
You talked a big game and then just said 8-4. Like you said, like, oh, it's a tough schedule and all this, and you just went 8-4.
It's a very tough schedule, but I just said,
You
they're
think they're that good of a team to get there even with tough schedule? So that's what you're saying, right?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay. I took it like as you like being like down on it, like, oh, this is such a hard schedule, and you went 8-4, and I was
thought
like,
the same thing.
okay.
I understand.
Okay, we're good.
So let's move on to USC. 10-3 last year, 7-2 in the conference. Finished 2nd in the South Division and got a Rose Bowl win over Penn State. They returned 12 total starters, 5 on offense, 7 on defense. On offense, they lose Juju Smith-Schuster, Darius Rogers, Chad Wheeler, Zach Banner, and Damian Mama. On defense, they lose Michael Hutchins, Adoree Jackson, Stevie Tuikola-Vatu, and Leon McQuaid. So, Jason, what do you think about USC?
Offensively, the receiving corps has to replace Juju Smith-Schuster and Darius Rogers, but gets back Deontay Burnett and 5 of the top 7 targets. If this all works as planned, Darnold will make them shine, while Ronald Jones and the deep, talented backfield will take the heat off, if they all get time to work. Basically, if the offensive line will hold up Darnold, their success. Defensively, hybrid linebacker Porter Gustin led the team in tackles for loss, combining with Uchenna Nwosu to give the Trojans a pair of killers on the outside around top tackler Cameron Smith in the middle. Losing Adoree Jackson isn't a plus, obviously, but Iman Marshall is another great one who will be the number 1 guy now. The safeties might not be all that splashy, but they're going to be good, especially considering how much USC plays out of nickel. They need a strong pass rush, but if they get it, this team is a serious contender. Ceiling is 11-1, floor 9-3. I have them right in the middle, 10-2. They lose to UCLA, like I said, last game to kill the college football playoff hopes. Still finish number 1 in the conference. And I do think they win the Pac-12 championship after, but I think they lose to UCLA in that last regular season game, so they're out of it at 10-2. Don't make the college football playoff, but do make it to year 6.
So you do not have a Pac-12 team in the college football
I do
playoff?
not.
So, what, Big 12 maybe?
I haven't thought it through yet, but I just don't see USC making it. I don't think these Pac-12 strong enough. I think potentially 2 Big 10 teams between Michigan and Ohio State, or Penn State and Ohio State, or Penn State and Michigan, whichever. I could see 2 of those 3 making it, and then I don't know. SEC could
I think
put
he
2.
means Notre Dame. Notre Dame will make it.
No, and then Alabama, I think obviously be in there, and I mean I don't know.
You have Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State's in there already. I already said that they're in there, so I think there's room for there not to be a Pac-12 team. MVP, obviously Sam Darnold. He's the greatest quarterback in college football right now. Has the greatest NFL prospect. 6'4", 225, live arm, good mobility, and the ego to hold up under adversity. He just needs to prove himself this year, and he'll be ready.
You said he's coming back to next year?
I hope he does. That'd be cool.
I don't know. A lot of people say that, and then they
Yeah.
don't. So
I mean, it'd be
Not
cool to
coming
see.
back.
It'd be cool to see him in another year.
I think the number 1 thing is keeping Darnold healthy. Obviously, the star of the USC squad. Least sacks quarterback last year. They got to keep him upright. The wide receivers, if there is one question on the offense, it is the wide receivers. Losing Juju Smith-Schuster and Rogers last year. Ronald Jones, the second, had 2,069 yards in the last 2 seasons, and the USC is going to have a good running game too. The linebacker unit is proven, but the cornerbacks are going to be a concern, losing Adoree Jackson last year. So I think USC possibly, they have a pretty easy schedule. If everything goes right, they could run the table, but also if things fall apart, they could fall to 9-3. I like them at an 11-1 record this year.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that they have an easy schedule.
I think it lines.
Texas non-conference. That's.
I mean, but
they
all
don't
of
have
it,
to play Washington. I'll give you that.
almost all of their tough games are at home though. Stanford,
Yeah, that's
Texas, Utah, Colorado. If Jason likes them, UCLA's at home too. really Notre Dame's really the only really tough one on the road.
Yeah, that's true.
I got USC going 11-1. I think their ceiling could be undefeated, floor 9-3 or 10-2. Obviously, Sam Darnold's the show. Their offensive line needs to improve. Receivers need to improve. As you said, pretty easy schedule. I think the Sam Darnold's good enough to overcome all their problems as a team. I think he's that good. I think he'll leave after this year. Be top 5 pick in the draft. I think USC will beat Washington in the Pac-12 title game and advance to the College Football Playoff.
I like this USC team. Sam Darnold is a stud. Look for him. If he's got a top 3 grade in the NFL draft, he's got to leave, in my opinion. You can't miss out on that money for him. Also, don't sleep on Ronald Jones. He is a stud running back. Could have a big breakout season. They have a solid secondary, a young defensive line, but their schedule is favorable, as Dylan said, with all their tough games coming at home. I have them going 11-1 and 8-1 in conference, beating Washington in the conference championship.
I like USC this year. Sam Darnold will obviously be huge, like everyone said. Ronald Jones had a great year last year, rushing for over 1,100 yards. But on offense, they lose 2 first-team Pac-12 offensive linemen, along with a second-team player as well, as they rank 3rd in quarterback sack percentage. So they've really got to get that line revamped. On defense, Cameron Smith, I think will have a good year. Imam Marshall, like Jason said, he'll have a good year as well, as he had 3 picks a year ago. I think their ceiling is 12-0, floor of 8-4. I have them at 11-1, 9-0 in the conference. A loss to Texas. They win the South Division and then lose to Washington in the Pac-12 championship.
I think we all have USC Washington in the Pac-12 championship. Who does everybody
I
have?
do not. I have USC Oregon, but USC winning.
I like Washington in the Pac-12 championship. I just think they're more balanced than USC.
Did you have USC going 10-2?
Yeah, I have USC, Oregon, and Washington all going 10-2, but obviously USC, Oregon come out of it. USC wins. Goes to New Year's 6.
I got USC.
USC.
Yep, USC. So let's move on to Utah now. This could bring up some debate, but
It already has. There's no code.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring up some debate.
went 9-4 last year, 5-4 in the conference, finished 3rd in the South Division. Went to the Foster Farms Bowl, got a win against Indiana. They only returned 9 total starters, 4 on offense, 5 on defense. That is the worst in the Pac-12. On offense, they lose star Joe Williams, Tim Patrick, Corey Butler-Bird, and Garrett Bowles. On defense, they lose Marcus Williams, Hunter Demick, and Reggie Porter. So, Jason, what do you think about Utah this year?
You know how Utah works. They crank up their running game with a tough, powerful offensive line, and the passing game will be just good enough at times to get by. But this year, there are a few major holes to fill. They lost Garrett Bowles and Joe Williams. Losing running back Joe Williams is going to hurt, but they always have a good group of backs ready to rumble. Zach Moss is the leader of a good group that can help pick up the production. Fortunately, there's a veteran quarterback in Troy Williams to help steady the ship. He's a smart, savvy playmaker who should make everyone around him better, but the passing game somehow has to be more efficient with all the new receivers, and Williams just straight has to be better. I don't like the offense. I think they're going to miss Bowles and Williams too much. Defensively, this year the defense will revolve more around the tackles than before, with Lowell Lotulelei and Filippo Mokofisi, a terrific tandem, but the ends and the pass rush will be an issue early on. Losing veteran corners Brian Allen and Reggie Porter is bad enough, but 2-time All-Pac-12 star Marcus Williams took off to become a second-round pick of the New Orleans Saints. Chase Hansen is a big safety who will put up big numbers, but he needs help around him, and the pass rush needs to take the pressure off the secondary. My ceiling for them is 8-4. My floor for them is 5-7, 4-8. I see them finishing right around 6-6, being 4th in their conference, and the MVP is Lowell Lotulelei. He won't be his brother's star like for the Panthers, with 18 career tackles for loss, 87 tackles, and 8.5 sacks, but the defense is centered around him.
Yeah, on offense, it's all about the losses with Joe Williams and Garrett Bowles. 4 out of the 5 guys on the offensive line are gone, but I do like Troy Williams returning as quarterback. 2,757 yards and 15 touchdowns last year. I think the offense will be solid around him. The offensive line is a bit of a concern, though. Last year, Utah was number 1 in the Pac-12 in rushing defense and 8th in the country with 43 sacks, Lowell Lutulade is going to be great this year, like Jason talked about. The secondary is a question, though, in the midst of a complete rebuild. So I think it's a pretty clear cut for Utah this year, anywhere from 8-4 to 6-6, and I like it right in the middle, 7-5.
I also have 7-5 for Utah with a floor of 6-6, ceiling of 8-4. Obviously, Lowell Lutulele will lead their defensive front and might be the best in the Pac-12. We'll have to rely on the running game, and I think it'll work. And then their passing game needs to improve if they want to be a power in the Pac-12. But I think they'll be pretty effective. I think they'll finish third in their division.
As you guys know, and you heard earlier, I like Utah. I have them going 10-2 and 7-2 in the conference and finishing second in the South Division. Troy Williams, I really like the style of play. Quick guy, can really throw the ball. Their rush defense is really going to carry them this season. Yes, their defense is experienced, but they really need to fix the secondary up a little bit. Ever since Urban Meyer was their coach, Utah has been a threat to everybody.
All right. I kind of like Utah. Kind of don't have a little mix on this one. They have an average offense and average defense last year.
Average meaning 6-6, not 10-2, right? That's what average means, not 10-2.
Okay, I meant last year, first of all. But yeah,
I mean, they're
They
worse
did go
this year.
10-3 last year.
no, they went 9-4. But yeah.
I mean, they had Joe Williams and Garrett Bowles, though. So that's, I mean, I don't know. I just think if you lose your two best players on offense, you're going to be less than average.
All right, yeah, but I meant like last year they had an average offense and average defense, ranking 50th in points per game and 53rd in yards allowed. Like you guys have said, only returned one guy on the offensive line, lose 3 out of the top 4 receivers. I'm not a huge fan of their offense this year. That will go down. And on defense, I think their defense will be fine. Chase Hansen will have a good year. So, ceiling of 8-4, floor of 4-8. I like them at 7-5, 4-5 in the conference, finishing third in the South Division, getting wins over Arizona, Stanford, Arizona State, and Colorado. So let's move on to the surprise team out of the South Division. Jason, what do you have?
See, mine was UCLA, but it sounds like everyone thought Colorado was my surprise
That is
team.
a
So
very big
I'll take
surprise.
either of them. I think Rosen carries the squad and steals a crucial win over USC, but also I like what Colorado's doing. Solid offense, solid defense, and I think they're going to play well this year.
Yeah, I like Arizona State a little bit. I think they'll surprise some people, but their record won't really show it. John really liked them, so I think they'll be a solid squad this year, taking steps in the right direction.
My surprise team is UCLA. I love Josh Rosen. I think we'll lead him to possibly a 9-3 record, and so they're my surprise team.
My surprise team is Arizona State. Look out for Blake Barnett.
It's not Utah going 10-2.
No, I mean
That's not a
that's
surprise.
more of a surprise is Arizona State, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have
Utah
one.
has like tradition.
What did Arizona State go in?
Arizona State is going 8-4.
See, I don't think that's. I think that's. I'm going 4-8, but I mean, I just think Utah
See,
going.
like everyone's predicting them to be at the bottom of the conference.
And now you have
them
him.
going third.
I can see that. I think it's kind of the same thing with me, where it's UCLA and Colorado, and yours is Arizona State and.
And Utah had they had 9 and 10 wins. Both our magazines are stupid right now.
They had none.
Either way, they had 9
They
or
had
10.
not. Yeah, they had a good season last year, so I mean, not a huge surprise there.
Mine's UCLA, coming off of a 4-8 season. I got them at 8-4. They figure out the running game, then good stuff will happen. So let's move on to the disappointing team. Jason, what do you have?
Arizona State, Blake Barnett can't live up to the hype and struggles.
Mine's got to be Colorado. Big year last year, but I think it's a fluke, like John said earlier. Defense losing a lot of guys, and I'm not a fan of Colorado this year.
I got Arizona. I think they'll finish last in the division. Not much to say.
I've got UCLA as my disappointing team. I don't think Josh Rosen will play all year.
I mean, I have Arizona as my worst team, but I don't think that's a disappointing team.
I think finishing last is pretty disappointing, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but they did last year too, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I think more of a disappointment would be Colorado, coming off of a 10-3 surprise season last year, lose their defensive coordinator and 9 guys on defense, and I have them at what did I have them at?
6-6.
6-6, I think. Yeah. So let's move on to the player who deserves a bigger spotlight. Jason, what do you have?
Philip Lindsay, running back from Colorado. finishing with 1,252 yards and 16 touchdowns, highlighted by a 219-yard three-score day against Arizona State. With great hands, he caught 53 passes, with 11 in the win over UCLA. For 493 yards, he can do it all.
I also have the same thing. He's going to be a 4-year starter.
Yeah, although I'm not high on Colorado, I am high on Philip Lindsay. 1745 yards from scrimmage last year, 16 touchdowns, and 53 receptions for Colorado. He does it all and will be the lone bright spot on the team this year.
Just to be different and not say Philip Lindsay, I'll say Cameron Smith, linebacker out of USC. He'll lead that defense.
I like Deontay Burnett of USC, wide receiver. He'll be Darnold's number one target with Rodgers and Smith-Schuster gone. So let's move on to the coach on the hottest seat, Jason. What do you have?
Todd Graham, Arizona State. 2 underwhelming seasons back-to-back. I think that's enough to get the job done. Goodbye, Todd Graham.
It's got to be Rich It's got to be Rich Rodriguez. I think the Wildcats finished last in the Pac-12 again this year, and his seat is getting very warm.
Either Todd Graham or Rich Rodriguez. You can pick your poison. I guess I'll go with Todd Graham.
I have two guys. I have Jim Mora of UCLA and Rich Rodriguez.
I also have Jim Mora. If they have another losing season, then he could be out of it.
He was already on a hot seat before this upcoming season. So if he has anything less than what they did last year, he'll be
He's
good.
definitely. Let's move on to the best pro prospects.
I
Jason.
feel like this should be consistent.
Right.
If it's not,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold
Yeah.
has got
Right.
issues.
Sam
Okay,
Darnold.
it's Sam Darnold. Just to talk about somebody different, though. Cameron Smith, I think he's a great player. Led their team in tackles last year by a lot, and he will do it again this year.
Yeah, I think everyone else has got Sam Darnold. There's not really a debate there.
Second, we'll have Josh Rosen.
Yeah, Rosen.
Or
Yeah,
Cameron Smith.
yeah. There's so much offensive firepower in the Pac-12, but that'll sum up the Pac-12.
I have Michael Brown.
You do?
Yeah, kicker of USC. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay, so that'll wrap up the Pac-12. Fantasy football running backs tomorrow, and then starting up again, we've got the Big 12. John's high on some really weird teams again.
No, this team's legit.
No, they're not. I don't even know who it is, but I guarantee it's not legit. And
Transfer quarterback.
Surprise.
Transfer.
all right, so we'll have Big 12 coming up. We'll have some fantasy football receivers, and then we'll get back into it with the SEC and tight ends, defense, kickers. But make sure you follow us on Twitter to answer our polls today. Who do you think will win the Pac-12 South? Are you feeling my love of UCLA and Colorado? Are you feeling John's with Utah and Arizona State? Or are you going simple with USC? Vote on Twitter now and leave your thoughts below.
Yeah, make sure if you want to see the rest of our college football previews, hit that subscribe button. Like Jason said, the link to our Twitter bio is in the description. Make sure you click on that and vote in the polls. So thank you guys for listening, and we will see you tomorrow.